We continue now at the top of Daf Hey Amud Aleph Meseches Eruvin. This is Eruvin Daf 5a. We have a machlokas here between Rav Yosef and Abaye. Let's say you have a korah that's too high up in the entrance of a mavui. It's above 20 amos. So what you do is you build a platform underneath the beam, underneath the korah, to make it that it's not too high. When you're standing on the platform, it won't be more than 20 amos high in that situation. But the question is, how long into the mavui does the platform have to be? Rav Yosef says that it suffices if it's just one tefach. As long as it's a tefach, then we say that it, basically corresponding to the exact width of the korah up on top is a tefach, that's fine. You've minimized the height from standing on the platform. When you're standing on the platform, the korah will not be more than 20 amos above you. Abaye is stricter, and he says, no, it's got to be 4 tefachim. The platform has to go into the mavui a bit because it's got to be a makom chashiv. And now the Gemara is in the middle of explaining Abaye's reasoning. Umanda Amar Arba, according to Abaye, who says that the platform needs to be 4 tefachim, kasavar osur l'hishtamish tachas hakora. So Abaye holds that it's not permitted to use the area underneath of the beam, and that's why, see, according to Rav Yosef, you can use the area underneath the beam. That's what it said in the previous Amud. So if you're using that area, you'll have a heker that above you, not more than 20 amos above you, is going to be a korah. Abaye says you're not allowed to use that area, therefore he requires 4. Rashi explains. Uman damar arba kasavar azar l'hishtamish tachas hakora dechuda hapnimi yored v'sosim. According to Abaye, the inner edge of the korah is what comes down and seals it off, so you can't go past the inner part of the beam. V'rochav hakora have a chutz l'stima. Therefore, the entire width of the beam is outside of the closed-off area. You can't use it. U'l'mishtamshim b'mavoi ein lahem heker b'korah. Therefore, those who are in the mavoi, they're too low down. It's more than 20 amos above them. They don't have the heker. Shari b'namochein. They're too low. Hilkach tzarach sheyimshach l'soch hamavoi. Therefore, what you need to do is, for sure, the platform needs to go into the mavoi a bit, so that even the people using that area, so the people using the mavoi can at least have a korah that's not more than 20 amos above them. Now, once you're already drawing the platform inward, Abaye says you need it to be a makom chashiv. It needs to be at least 4 tefachim. That is what the Gemara is suggesting is the machlokas between Abaye and Rav Yosef. So the Gemara now says, lo, no. It could be everybody agrees you can use the area right underneath the korah. So why doesn't a tefach suffice according to Abaye? And this is the machlokas. One opinion says that korah is because of a heker. So if it's 1 tefach, it's fine. You have a heker. You're able to see the korah when you're using the area under the korah, and you have a heker. There's a difference between this area and Rosh Hashanah. However, the other opinion, the stricter opinion, says no, korah is misham mechitza, and Rashi again will explain this. Gemara says lo dekuli alma mutar v'haka miflagi uv'ha pligi mar savar korah shetiknu chacham lamavi misham heker bi'alma. It's just a heker to lo leisi lemishri Rosh Hashanah. We don't want you to accidentally permit carrying in Rosh Hashanah. When people enter this mavoi, they'll be on a platform. The korah will not be more than 20 amos above them. They'll have a heker. But Abaye, who says you need 4 tefachim, he holds korah hamateres b'mavoi taima mishum mechitza. The reason why a korah works is because of mechitza damrinan chuda hachitzon yored v'sosim. We say that the outer edge of the korah, it's as if it comes down, it's like a wall. V'yamru rabbanan devitvei me'esrim lo amrinan yored v'sosim. According to this reasoning, the rabbanan say more than 20 amos high. If that korah is too high, it's not going to be yored v'sosim. It's not going to create a mechitza. V'kemen delo have miyot dalid have mechitza asui lapachas midalid. Now, if the platform you make is less than dalid, that's what's called a mechitza made for an area less than dalid tefachim. Then we have a general rule: the mechitza she'einu ru'uya l'dalid la mechitza. If you have a mechitza that's made for an area less than 4 tefachim, that's not called a mechitza. De'ein rishas hayachid l'pachas midalid tefachim. You cannot have a rishas hayachid less than 4 tefachim. V'afa bisha mukav mechitza shel asar tefachim. Even if the area is surrounded by mechitzas of 10 tefachim, it has to be at least 4 tefachim wide. Uv'gzus tros techananya ben akavya nami hachim min dein mechitza zelim ken yesh toch chalal arboa beparaketza mishtatven. Rashi says later on in the Masechta, we say this principle as well. So that is a second possibility of what the machlokas between Abaye and Rav Yosef is. And then the Gemara says, or you could say, no, everybody holds korah is just a heker, and again, 1 tefach should have sufficed. However, the issue is, do we compare the heker for those down below to the heker of the beam up above? One says that the heker, just like the beam itself, is 1 tefach. That's the mala. Just like that's only 1 tefach wide, so too the heker shel mata, the platform below, can just be 1 tefach. Umar Savar lo min heker shel matzah heker shel mala. The other one says, no, we don't say that the heker shel mala can just be a tefach, but you need 4 tvachim for the heker down below. The platform needs to be a little bigger. Or you could say to kuli alma min heker shel matzah heker shel mala. Really, the amount of space that you need the heker to be down below where people are using the area could be a tefach in theory, just like the heker up above. But they're afraid, what happens if there's a deterioration? What happens if, let's say, part of the platform deteriorates and you don't even have that tefach? Rashi says, maybe that platform that you built, people are stepping on it, it gets smaller. Maybe it'll get to be less than a tefach. Therefore you need it more than a tefach. Once we're already making it more than a tefach, we say, okay, let's do a shir chashuv, let's do an important amount, let's make it 4 tvachim, and that is possible that is a machlokas between Abaye and Rav Yosef. The Gemara continues at the 2 dots. Haya pachos me'asar tvachim. Let's say you have the reverse case. Let's say the mavoi is too small, it's lower than 10 tvachim. The korah is lower than 10 tvachim. Within 10 tvachim of the ground, we should say. And now you carve, you dig into the ground in order to make it that the korah is at least 10 tvachim above you. Kama chokek, how much do you have to dig into the ground? Very similar to Gemara in the previous Amar. Gemara says, Kama chokek, how much you have to dig into the ground? Kama de tzarchle. What do you mean? However low it is. Let's say for example, let's say the korah is 8 tvachim high, so you're missing 2 tvachim, so dig 2 tvachim into the ground. So the Gemara says, no, ela mashcha bekam. Again, we mean how much do you have to dig into the mavoi? How large of a space does it have to be that you dig down to make it 10 tvachim high? A very similar machlokas to how large does the platform have to be. Rav Yosef Amar Bedalid. Again, this is going to be a machlokas Rav Yosef and Abaye, but a little bit of a different machlokas. Rav Yosef says it needs to be 4 tvachim. That's Rav Yosef who said before, when you built the platform, it needs to be 1 tefach. Here he's saying you need 4 tvachim. Abaye Amar Ba'arba Amos. And Abaye, again, who said before that the platform needs 4 tvachim, here he says it needs a larger amount of space. It needs 4 amos. Rashi here explains why it's different in this case. First of all, Rashi has an interesting diktuk. Mashcho shel chekak, how long does this dug area have to be? L'soch orach hamavoi, into the length of the mavoi. He says, B'davar habolet kagon miyut. When you have something sticking out like a platform where you're minimizing the amount of space, shayach lememar rochav. You use the word rochav. How much rochav does the platform need to have? U'v'davar hashokeh, when you're digging something in, when it's sunk in, when mekifas also mechitzas is being surrounded by mechitzas kagon chekak, like when you're digging, when you're carving, Shayach lomar lashon meshech. Then you use the word meshech. So it's really the same thing. Rashi is just noting that the word meshech is used when you dig a hole to say the length of how long this hole has to be, and the word rochav is used when you're building a platform. So then again, we have a machlokas here of Yosef and Abaye. Rav Yosef de boy leil tefach. Rav Yosef, who said by the platform it needs to be a tefach long. Hacha boy arba. Here he requires 4 tvachim. Why? Because over there you have already something that qualifies as a wall. All you need to do is get the korah to not be more than 20 amos above you, so heker be'alma is good, 1 tefach is fine. And here you're not simply creating the heker of the beam, you're also turning the wall into a wall. The wall's not even 10 tefachim high. You need to make the wall bigger by digging. For that already you for sure need more than a tefach. You need a makom chashuv of dalet tefachim. Rashi explains whether Rav Yosef, whether Abaye, they all agree that the wall needs to be at least 10 tvachim high for the minimum length of a mavoi. The question is, what is the minimum length of a mavoi? Rav Yosef shir meshech mavoi bedal tvachim. Rav Yosef says the shear of the meshech of a mavoi, the length of a mavoi, the length of that alley has to be 4 tvachim. The Abaye svira le shir meshech mavoi bedal amos. Abaye holds that the shear for the length of the mavoi needs to be 4 amos, and we're going to get more into this into the Gemara. But that's the basis of this machlokas here between Rav Yosef and Abaye. So the Gemara now says, what is the machlokas? What's the point of dispute? Leima b'Rabbi Ami v'Rabbi Asi kamiflagi. Let us say that the machlokas between Rav Yosef and Abaye of how long do the walls of a mavoi have to be, let's say that that's the same machlokas. They're getting involved in the issue that Rabbi Ami and Rav Asi talk about, the following issue. The Itmar, because it was learned. Mavoi shenifratz mitzido. Let's say you have a mavoi that has a hole along the side, klape rosho, and the hole is towards the front of the mavoi, where the beam at the entrance of the mavoi is. Itmar mishmei Rav Ami v'Rav Asi, it was taught in the name of Rav Ami and Rav Asi. Im yesh sham pas dalid. If you have a board of wood there that's 4 tvachim, Matir bepirza ad eser. Then it's fine, you're okay, as long as the hole in the wall is not more than 10 tvachim. V'im lav, now if you do not have a pas that's dalid, if you don't have a 4 tvachim kind of board of wood that's acting as a wall over there, pachas mishlosha matir, if the hole in the wall is less than 3 tvachim, it's okay. It's as if there's no hole at all, we apply lavud. Shlosha eno matir, and 3 tvachim already is too much, and you don't have a heter. So we're going to see Rashi exactly what the case is, but the point here is that it's pas dalit. It seems to be 4 tvachim. So the Gemara is assuming here, Rav Yosef isle de Rav Ami. It seems like Rav Yosef holds like Rav Ami. Li Abaya less le de Rav Ami. And Abaya seems to not hold like Rav Ami. That's the suggestion. This is the point of dispute between Rav Yosef and Abaya. Rashi here explains the case. Shenifratz mitzido echad min haksolim shebetzad arko. So you have a wall at the side of the length of the mavui, and it has a hole in it. This right here is the hole. This is your mavui. So the mavui, these are the walls of the mavui, and this is the korah that is at the entrance of the mavui, and this is the pas dalid tvachim that we are talking about. So that's what Rashi explains here. So there's this hole. Now again, this hole, if it's, as the Gemara goes on, if this hole is less than 3 tvachim, we apply lavud. There's no problem at all. There's nothing to talk about. It doesn't matter about this pas, doesn't matter anything. It's less than 3 tvachim, it's like it's not there. The whole issue is this pirza is more than 3 tvachim. So klape rosho samach lekora hemena v'lifnim. Again, the hole is near the korah. That's the case. The hole is up towards the front, not over here. It's not over here. The hole is up towards the front by the beam. Im yesham pas dalid. Im nishtayer min hakosel awasa pas dalid b'makom hapirza. So if you have a little bit left from the wall, or you put up a board of wood and it's 4 tvachim, samach lekora near the actual beam. That's exactly the drawing Rashi. Matir pirza afagav shenishtayer sham adayin pirza ad eser. Even if this hole is more than 3 tvachim up till 10 tvachim. If it's more than 10 tvachim, you have a problem. But if it's more than 3 tvachim, but up until 10 tvachim, you're still going to be okay. The kaven diyesh hechsher orach mavoi min hakora al pirza. Why? And here's the key. Since from the korah until here, you have the minimum amount of a mavoi. Clearly seems to say that the minimum amount of a mavui is 4 tvachim, which is exactly what Rav Yosef said. That's why this seems like Rav Yosef, seems like Abaya does not hold like that. To kaven diyesh hechsher orach mavui min hakora pirza. Since you have the minimum length of a mavui from the beam to the hole in the wall, lo batale toras pesach mikamoi. This entry point is still called a pesach. Uvamil Sakoy, it stays in its original halachic category, in its original status. The koraso matiraso, the korah makes it mutter. Upertsaso materes, and there's no problem with the hole. Kevan de lav yoser me'eser toras pesach aleh, because as long as this hole is not more than 10 tvachim, it's just another entry point. It's called a door. Umavoi eino nifsal b'psachim harbe. There's no psul of a mavoi having many doors. It's okay for a mavoi to have as many doors as you want. Inami shavke b'nei mavoi pischa kamav v'nafku v'ailu b'ahi pirza. Even if people decide not to enter through the front entrance and they enter through the side, mishum de derech ketzari hilam, because it's a shorter route. Afilu achi lo bad l'toras pesach. V'korah min harishon, the front is still considered a pesach. Mishum dehave pesach l'dalet hasmuchin lo, because it is an entry point for an area that's 4 tvachim. Hoel v'dalet orach ru'uyin l'korah diyesh ben hechsher mavoi, since you have the hechsher mavoi. Rashi is saying, look, even if people use this as the door, the fact of the matter is this is an entry for an area which is 4 tvachim, for something that can be called a mavoi. Therefore, it's not a problem. V'im lav, Rashi explains, if it's not 4 tvachim, the ein sham pas dalet. If this thing is not 4 tvachim, so then pachos migimalim apirtza pachos migimel again. If the hole in the wall is less than 3 tvachim, matir, it's fine, as we said. Tikun hamavoi es hamavoi sharei kalavadam. You apply lavad. Anything less than 3 tvachim is like it's closed off. V'im kan pirtza, there is no pirtza. There's no opening. V'im apirtza gimel. Now, if the opening is 3 tvachim or more, ain't no matter, you got a problem. The kaven de matinon b'nei mavoi bihiluchan, because since the people in the mavoi in this situation, they're going to use this door, they're going to use that entrance, so because let's say that's more convenient. So since they're doing that, mekatzrin as darko and derechos pirza, they're taking a shorter route through that opening. Chayshinon dilma shavki pischorava v'ayli v'nafki by pirza. Maybe they're not using the front anymore. The front entryway is batal, it's nullified. Ubadla korah didei, the korah is not, it doesn't have a halachic status. V'en korah l'mavoi, you have no korah. V'hai time and farish l'kamon bepirkin. That's what is going to be explained later on. So the point is, if this is not 4 tvachim, this is going to lose its status as a korah, because this becomes a new entry point, and this area just totally loses its status. The Abaya Leslie Ravasi, the Gemara suggests Abaya doesn't hold like this statement. According to Abaya, you need 4 amos for a mavoi. That's what he said. Vachanami, like a pas dalet amos, ain't korazuru. Uyo loso a pas, ain't kora. Abaya should have to say that this needs to be 4 amos, not 4 tvachim. 4 amos, of course, much more than 4 tvachim. So That's why the Gemara thinks that Abaya does not hold of Rabbi Ami and Rav Asi. The Gemara is basically saying that Rav Yosef holds like Rabbi Ami and Rav Asi, and Abaya does not hold like them. So the Gemara now says, no, it could be not. Amar lach Abaya, Abaya can say to you, Hasam sof mavui, hachat chilas mavui. Over there we're talking about the end of the mavui. Here we're talking about the beginning of the mavui. Rashi will explain exactly what that means. So Rashi says, sof mavui, kegon had Rabbi Ami for Rav Asi, shekvar haya mavui. The point is, in the case of Rabbi Ami and Rav Asi, this thing was a kosher mavui. At one point in time, that hole was not there. V'irabo psul, and then a psul happened. This used to be a totally good mavui, and then a little hole in the wall happened. That's a little bit different. You want to turn that into a good mavui again, 4 tvachim, a pass of 4 tvachim is fine. Even Abaya would admit. But over here, Tchilas Mavi, Kagon Gabe Chakak, here, you had walls that were less than 10 tvachim high. You need to dig a hole in order to make this thing a mavui. So, the hashta ka'asi l'shavi a mavui. Now you want to turn it into a mavui. That's a different story. For that, Abaya says, yeah, you're going to need 4 amos. 4 tvachim is not going to be enough. So, that's the distinction that the Gemara draws between Rav Ami and Rav Asi and Abaya. So that's what he says. Hasam sof mavoi hacha tchilas mavoi iika arba amos in. If it's the tchilas mavoi, if you're rendering this a mavoi in the first place, so if it's 4 amos, fine, that's okay. Ilo lo, if not, not. So now Abaya says, Amar Abaya says, Minno aminolo. Where can I prove this to you? Where can I prove that the length of a mavoi, if you're creating a mavoi at the outset, needs to be at least 4 amos, or that 4 tvachim is certainly not enough? The Tanya, because we learned in a brayso. Ein mavoi niter belechi v'kora ad shiu botim v'chatzeiros psuchen l'socho. The brayso says a mavoi cannot be matir with either a lechi, again that's a pole at the entry point at the side, or a kora, the beam that runs on top. You can't use a lechi and a kora to allow you to carry a mavoi unless that mavoi has courtyards that open into it, and each of those courtyards, at least 2 courtyards, and each of those courtyards have to have houses opening into the courtyards. That is the structure of a mavoi. Otherwise, it's not called a mavoi. So now, if you have at least 2 chatzeros opening into the mavoi, in order to have a doorway from the chutzner to the mavoi, that's got to be at least 4 tvachim. So if you need it to be, if 4 tvachim is the minimum size of a mavoi, how do you have a 4 tefach length mavoi with doors going from the chutzner to the mavoi that are also 4 tefach? You have no walls. That means you have only entries. That's what Rashi says is the problem of it. Rashi explains. If you use it at 4 tvachim as a mavoi, how could you have a mavoi that's only 4 tvachim long? Let us see. The minimum amount of chatzeros you need to be entering into this mavoi is 2. In opening into the mavoi can't be less than 4 tvachim. How do you have a door that's 4 tvachim wide in a wall that's not even that's only 4 tvachim wide? Where are the sides of the entry point? So the whole thing is just wide open. There's no walls at all. So it's just impossible to have a mavoi that's 4 tvachim wide and have chatzeros opening up into the mavoi. The Gemara says, okay, the Gemara says, maybe you have a weird case where the back wall, the chatzeros open into the back of the mavoi. So when you walk into the mavoi, when you enter the korah, the length is very short. And the width, the back of the mavoi is actually bigger than the whole length. But that can't be either. If Nachman said, Naktinon, Ezo mavoi sheniter b'lechi v'korah, what kind of mavoi is allowed to be matir with a lechi or a korah? Kol she'archo yesar arachva, the length has to be bigger than the width. So it has to be that when you walk in through the korah, that alleyway is longer than it is wide at the back. So that's not a good answer. And as we said before, you have houses and courtyards opening into the mavoi. So it's impossible to have a 4 tefach long mavoi that will have all of these factors, that will have these factors taken care of, that will qualify as a mavoi in respect to all these factors. So what is Rav Yosef going to say to this? Rav Yosef will respond to Pasach le bekeren zavis. You can have the chatzeros open up into the corner of the mavoi. Rashi will have a diagram for that. Let's see a couple of Rashis. Rashi says, "V'chitayim at the Pasach le bedofen emtsois v'chikamar Rav Yosef hechsher mavoi borach dal b'mavoi rochav ma'od ka'amar." Maybe Rav Yosef was talking about a very wide mavoi. V'yochel leftoch Pesach hachatzeros bedofen shemeyachrav, and the entryway from the chatzer into the mavoi is actually at the back of the mavoi. V'omer Rav Nachman Naktinon. Rav Nachman said that we know Mesoras me'avoseinu minhag me'avoseinu. It's the tradition from our fathers. It's a minhag from our Rebbeim. Orcho yeser al rachbo, that the length must be bigger than the width. Havim mavi, that's called a mavi. V'niter b'lechi v'kora, that's okay with a lechi and a kora. Avol meruba, but if it would be square, if it's not a rectangle where the length is bigger than the width, if it's square, din chotzer olav. It's not called a mavi, it's called a chotzer. V'amrina lekamon, we say later on, chotzer, if something's called a chotzer, tricha pas dalit, or pas mashu mikan, or pas mashu mikan. You need either a board of wood that's 4 tvachim, or you need a pass on either side. If it's opened into Rosh Hashanah, you can't use just a lechi or a kora in such a case. If you're saying the minimum length is 4 tvachim, the width has to be less than 4 tvachim. Then you don't have enough space for a pesach. Chatzar can't come in from the back. As we already mentioned, in the entire Masechet it says a doorway has to be at least 4 tvachim. So the Gemara finally says that according to Rav Yosef, you can have a 4 tefach long mavoi by having openings bekeren zavis in the corner. And Rashi says tefach min pesach bedofen haimsai. 1 tefach will be at the middle. The gimel tefachim bedofen hameshach. V'chein betzido hasheni kozeh. He says you're going to basically you'll have a tefach of the opening will be in the middle wall, and then you'll have 3 tefachim of the opening along the sides. The case basically is as follows. Each square here is a tefach. So you'll have a 1 tefach wall here and a 1 tefach wall here. Then you'll have open space for 3 tefachim. And then you'll have another tefach open space in the back, another tefach open space in the back, and here you're going to have a 2 tefach large wall. So, in such a situation, now there's one little problem here we'll point out, but in such a situation you have a way of having a 4 tefach wide opening because it's a diagonal opening, and that's going to be okay. Now, the only issue here you might raise is that in Rashi's case, this is a square. Didn't we just say a square mavoi is problematic? So how is this okay? But the answer to that is that it's actually, the length is still bigger than the width because you really look at it as a diagonal. The entryway is here, and the entryway is here. We don't care about this. This is just showing us the measurement. So so when you enter the mavoi, you actually have a mavoi where the length is bigger than the width, and you have 4 tefachim long mavoi. That's the minimum size. You've satisfied all the requirements. That's the only way that you can have it according to Rav Yosef. That's how Rav Yosef will defend himself from these proofs of Abaye. Abaye now tries another proof. Amar Abaye says, "Meno aminal." I'll bring another proof that the minimum size cannot possibly be 4 tefachim. The Amar Rami Bar Chama, Amar Rav Huna, because Rami Bar Chama says in the name of Rav Huna, Lechi habolet midofno shel mavoi pachos me'arba amos. If you have a lechi that's sticking out from the wall of the mavoi less than 4 amos, nidon mishum lechi. That's called a lechi. In other words, what we're trying to determine here is, what is a lechi? What if you have a wall at the entry of the mavoi? You have a wall there. So if that wall is less than 4 amos, that's called a lechi. That's okay. You don't need another lechi. We can call that wall a lechi. Dalit amos, but if it's 4 amos, nidon misham mavoi, then it is actually called part of the mavoi. But tzarach lechi acher latir, you're going to have to put another lechi up, a new pole, to be considered a lechi to allow it. So what's this 4 amos? It certainly seems like Abaye. Rashi says, lechi abolit midofno shel mavoi, l'soch rochav hamavoi. This lechi, let's say this is the case right here. It's going into the width of the mavoi. V'lo nasa sham l'shem lechi. It wasn't made as a lechi. Elahotzi binyano b'pas beso kederach shosim mishum chizuk. This is something they did to strengthen the corner over here. So in this case, the question is it's a lechi, and what is it saying? If it's 4 amos, that's considered a mavoi. It's considered part of the mavoi. If it's less than 4 amos, it's a lechi. 4 amos, that's exactly what Abaye said. That's not what Rav Yosef said. How's Rav Yosef going to defend himself? Rav Yosef lafuke mitoras lechi adika arba amos. Rav Yosef will simply say, in order for something to not be a lechi, it's got to be 4 amos. Lemahave mavoi, but to render an area mavoi, afilo barba tvachim nami have mavoi. Even 4 tvachim can be a mavoi. Gemara says, Gufa, let's analyze this statement we just made. Amar Rami Bar Chama, Amar Rav Huna. Rami Bar Chama says the name of Rav Huna, lechi habolit midofna shel mavoi. Again, you have a lechi sticking out of the wall of the mavoi. We'll continue this discussion in the next video on Daf Hey Amud Beis.